Today we've got Vivek Gomber, the producer of the very acclaimed and multiple 32 awards now, 32 award winning film Court, India's selection for the Oscars this year. And we've got Suprateek Chatterjee, the entertainment editor for Huffington Post here with us, someone who's been a vocal advocate of the film and has been pushing Court since the time I think it screened at Mami. So welcome Vivek and Suprateek. So like we were talking before the interview, right? Could you talk about how the journey has been? You've spent 3 years now with Court since you started?
Yeah, it has been incredible. The film premiered in 2014, but the writing process from inception, it was from 2011. So it has been a long time with the film. And we were very fortunate to make it as far as the India's entry to the Oscars, but we didn't make the short list and everything like that. But it's been quite incredible, and we are it's been quite a lot. So yeah.
So we spoke in March, I think, just before the release, and you were very excited. I think the film has since then kind of gone on and kind of already released in a few territories, and it is scheduled to release in a few more territories.
It has. Since we spoke, it released in India, obviously, and then following which it was released in the US, Canada. This year in 2016, it will be releasing in Spain, France, and the UK, which is quite incredible for a film that Chaitanya and I thought nobody would watch apart from just us who have made it. So. And the film's out also on DVD and things like that in India. It's out on iTunes in the US. It sounds like I'm plugging, but it's all true.
How's it doing on Amazon? How's it doing?
It's doing well. It's doing well. I don't know exactly in terms of numbers and stuff. Somebody met me yesterday and said, you're a producer, you should spit out numbers as quickly as you can.
But you're an actor first, I guess.
I'm an actor first. Thank you, man. I'm an actor first. But yeah, it's doing really well. Somebody sent me a screen grab from December 2015, I think 2 or 3 weeks after the film was released, and apparently it was the #1 selling DVD in Amazon, which is pretty cool. I hope that's true. If it's not, I'm sorry. So it's been incredible, man, and very grateful. Just the fact that the film is still being talked about, and today we are here in Bangalore, and as you know, it won another award. So it's
congratulations
cool
on that. It won the BIFFES India Jury Award,
right?
And I think, like I was saying earlier, Suprateek has been keeping account. So 32nd award for the film.
I hope I'm right. I think I've been keeping
think so,
and
yeah.
that's the highest, I think, for an Indian award. Should be, I think, more or less.
Yeah, but
internationally, I would say, most of the awards are abroad.
Well, it depends also on the
value of the award.
Yeah, the value of the award.
Yeah.
But look, it's done really well, and it has done far better than anybody ever expected from the film. So in that sense, it's great. So 32nd, even more than one is great. So
a bit of a cliched question, maybe a typical media kind of a question. But when looking back now, after. I'm sure you've had the time to kind of reflect back on the journey with the film, and you've traveled a lot with the film, with alongside Chaitanya, almost to every continent and to a number of countries. What have you learned from the whole journey as a actor, one, as a producer, two?
As an actor, I've learned that there are a lot of good cinema out there, and there are a lot of skilled professionals that I still need to learn from, and still need to work on the craft quite a lot. As a producer, I've learned that it's quite difficult, and it's as exciting as it's been learning all these lessons. It's kind of it's a little demoralizing, I guess, in some ways, because it feels like you've barely scratched the surface, in many ways, because there's so much more to do, there's so much more to learn, so much more to understand, and with each festival and each place I go, or if I speak to sales agents or other producers, I realize about many things that I could have done with the film that would have been even more beneficial to the film. But again, I think that's something, when you have the luxury of hindsight, you can always reflect on that. So you have to put that in perspective. But yeah, there's a lot to learn, and what's been really interesting and something that has been very cool is that in the last 2 years while we've been traveling with the film, what's been happening back home in terms of newer directors, newer films, and kind of having an audience for these kind of independent films, that has grown a lot. Awareness has grown a lot for individuals who want to watch a different kind of cinema, and awareness for people for what kind of cinema exists, and that's always been rising, and I think that's great. And now we're sitting here with even Netflix is coming into India and things like that. Platforms increased, a lot of people are doing web series, so I'm thinking content wise I think there's a lot happening, which is very exciting, and you always feel like, oh, now is the time, now is the time. So I'm glad that in the last 2 years, wherever we've gone, whatever we have learned, we find that back home as well, nothing has been stagnant, and things have been, already moving or trying to catch up. So, yeah, a lot of lessons as well. But at the end of the day, you need a lot of money, man. Okay, you need a lot of money in order to make this shit happen, and I don't have much.
You need to not worry about how much of it you're gonna get.
Yeah, and how much of it, if you can afford to play a bet like that, that would be interesting. And I think, you need to figure that out.
But you are getting some of the money back, I'm assuming, with all the releases happening.
Yeah, we are. We're doing really well with that, and we should break even by the middle of this year, which is a lot more than I ever expected from the film. This was really a bet with who gives a whatever. Just try and get the film out and just make the film first, and then we'll worry about it step by step. But of course, I think a smarter producer or a better producer or a more experienced producer would like to also worry about the back end, which is equally important, because you want producers to be there to support new content, you want producers to be there to support new directors and new voices and things like that. So it's a mixed bag in that way, but you do need some mavericks, and at the end of the day, it always comes down to money, man. And yeah, we need a lot more of that. But then that money can also be better served or have better avenues if we have more venues to watch alternative cinema compared to what we get right now. And especially we were talking earlier about Hollywood coming in and flexing their muscles and what kind of a battle we'll face there, and also so there's a lot happening right now. So I wonder what will happen in 5 years from now.
We need more screens in general.
Yeah, screens for sure.
Yeah.
Right, so Suprateek, just drawing you in, you've been like a very, very vocal advocate of the film court, and I think also in working in a mainstream publication like Huffington Post, you've kind of...
No one's ever called us that.
You've been, pushing and writing a lot about the regional cinema, about the independent scene, which doesn't really get covered as much unless, a film kind of goes out and, gets an approval from an international film festival. That shouldn't really be happening. We should be able to appreciate our own cinema ourselves, right? So could you talk about, how you've seen the scene change, if at all, if it has, in the last 13, 14 months, 15 months since Mami?
See, the thing about journalism nowadays, especially when you're doing it online, it's all, the entire game is on traffic, right? It's about how many hits you can get. And if you can't get users to click on your article, you fail. If you can't get them to click, to convert that thing they see, the post or the tweet they see about that article into a click, you fail. And with Court, when I started writing about Court, I had just joined HuffPost, and I did a very sort of perhaps overtly frank piece about my involvement with Court.
Right.
I started by helping them with social media and everything, and that got a lot of views, and that got more views than a lot of Bollywood articles get. And I think that's proof that there is some sort of a critical mass out there which is also interested in reading about good cinema.
Right.
And I feel like it has always been high time, but we need to stop thinking of Indian cinema as Bollywood or Collywood or Tollywood. It's everything. Everything is Indian cinema.
So there's a Masti Zade at one end and there's a Court
at
another
I don't
end.
believe in this our cinema, their cinema argument, man. Like this. You brought it up in the same sentence.
The two ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah,
no, I mean, you can't. This our cinema, their cinema argument is just, it doesn't hold any water. There's only good films or bad films. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. There are a lot of films, not good films.
But our cinema ऐसा होता है मतलब that there's this argument कि अपना cinema larger than life है ऐसा है वैसा and I'm like okay, you know what, like
just let everything exist.
Ray and Ghatak and Gopalakrishnan are also our cinema, right? It's
They
not
are,
just
yeah.
Manmohan Desai. It's not just David Dhawan.
That's true.
We
That's
can't
true. I mean, yeah.
Just because that has earned more money doesn't make it. What gives that more right to be our cinema than these?
Yeah, I mean, I think the makers should be free from the burden of what the box office does or doesn't do, and that should not be the marker for any creative person in the business. And I think, they should not have to have that burden, But it's the world you live in, and hopefully the web world or the digital world will try and liberate us from that and give us different options. I
think we're all hoping that Netflix and the like will change the game.
Yeah, but forget. I mean, I don't want to keep pitching for Netflix or whatever, but maybe there'll be other platforms and other entrepreneurs who'll come up with ideas and make their own digital platform where films would be released and things like that. I know people like TVF and all of them are trying to do it, and whoever it is, forget the name. Whoever it is just we as makers or whoever is a maker, they're just looking for a platform to show it. Even forget film, even for theater, you want more theater spaces, community spaces where people are congregating, watching different pieces of art, whether it's a play, a performance space, performance art, or a gallery or things like that. You need more of those social community spaces to exist. Why can't we have a social community space like that where you have a cinema upstairs, a workshop space, a theater or auditorium and things like that? Why can't we try and put that all together and have that for each city?
Right.
And have many of them in each city, not just one.
Yeah, exactly. Many of them, and where we can just
many
communicate.
Macadens,
Earlier
many
we were at that ceremony and we were talking about whatever the Fiprescu Awards and what it means to be a critic, and even for critics we were talking about that how they need to be labs where people need to understand how to look at art and what to write about, what not to write about, and not to be overwhelmed or to be burdened by getting hits or getting numbers and things like that. So in order to have all these spaces happen, maybe an idea of nationally to have a lot of community centers, in all cities, A, B, C. I don't even know why we call A, B, C grade cities. That's weird. And fuck that, But whatever it is, more places for people to congregate, have an option to not rely just on money, and where they can hire a space and do an event and engage with the audience. That way, maybe the audience will learn as well.
Right.
So yeah.
Distribution seems to be given that you've had 2 years of experience, distribution is the biggest problem, because making a film today is not that difficult. I think even from a funding point of view, obviously there should be more avenues, but you can make a very good film in a limited budget also. But I think distribution is the critical thing here.
Can I just say something? I feel like the audience is more mature now than the distributor. Like I genuinely feel this even about when we're talking about commercial Bollywood films. I feel like the audience is willing to experiment a lot more with its own tastes than distributors. I think distributors still think of us being in the mid 2000s at the very least.
Which is where I think the problem with physical infrastructure-led distribution is the multiplexes and theatres, because it's heavy cost, which is where probably digital is that much more, because their problem of inventory or problem of what to show when. Anybody can consume anything at any point in time. It depends on the hopefully that's where the hope is for, I guess, most independent filmmakers. But coming to slightly raw nerve, talking about the Oscars,
no raw nerve, man, no raw nerve at all.
And we were talking earlier about the whole experience of getting selected, which I think was a very fairly unanimous, there was a lot of unanimity behind the selection. And I think most people thought that it was the right film to go for the Oscars this year as the Indian entry. Could you talk about that experience, and does it, how has it left you with?
How traumatized you look.
No, man, it's been great. The fact that we were selected, we've said it before, Chaitanya said it, I've said it as well, it was a complete shock. And it was a great responsibility. I'm just sorry that we were not able to do better.
You don't have to be sorry.
And all of those things. But because, a lot of people got very emotional, and we are a very emotional culture, and and each time I think this Oscar hoodoo has become a thing where we're all like somehow, attracted to it or want it to happen. So I know I got a lot of phone calls and people were very disappointed that it didn't make the shortlist even and things like that. But on a personal level, we were very happy. We were very happy that even it got to that stage. And I agree with you. There was a lot of camaraderie in the sense whether even people, even if they didn't like Court, they agreed with the fact that it should have been sent. And I got a lot of positive feedback from that. So I'm very happy for that and very proud of that. And also for my 100-odd crew that made the film. Just not me. So that was all great. And then of course we did our best. We campaigned for it and things like that. But it's a very different ball game, I would say. And for us it was our first time and we were learning. But even before we went there, we knew that it was a very different kind of a film, whether the Academy would like it or not like it, or what were the odds on which X or Y amount of people all the way in America, what they would perceive about a film or a culture and a multilingual film as such from India, and what is the expectation from a film of India. So there were a lot of these points and parameters that we were aware of. So we were very grounded about whether we would go anywhere with it. I think Chaitanya and I would have been extremely shocked if we had made the shortlist, to be really honest. And it's not about having a defeatist attitude or anything like that. It's just about being practical and realistic. Especially after having traveled and seen the kind of films that are out there, each jury, each voting committee or group of people are attracted to a certain kind, depending on their background, their history.
Right.
So, fair enough for who made it or who didn't. And I don't think that should be be all end all. But as a journey, as a producer, I mean, we have 1 billion people, and they decided to give Court a national award. They decided to make sure that it gets out there, and there was a lot of support. I'm sure not the entire billion people were part of the jury, but whatever, out of India, that was the film that came out, after having 3,000 odd films that are made in a year. So on a personal level, that's a great achievement, and I'm very proud of that. So,
and I find this fascination with Oscars a very kind of colonial hangover kind of a thing where we're looking for obviously if it happens well and good.
You're right. Both arguments are right and both are wrong, in the sense that of course it's important. Like I don't think Court would have won the Oscar if it got
I think
selected.
with the Lunchbox we had a very good shot.
Yeah,
I don't know why Lunchbox didn't go. I think that was
the best shot.
as a film, as what was happening with the Oscars and the Academy, that film should have gone.
Yeah.
They should have asked that question. I think that was a shot.
It's all very political and everything, and the thing is that I would have liked it if Court made the shortlist, because once you're nominated for an Oscar, you're nominated for an Oscar,
Right.
and that's a huge deal.
That stays with the film.
It'll stay. It'll help the film's DVD sales.
Yeah, and the
lifetime,
producer makes money.
And the producer makes money because like Vivek is
Sorry.
not getting that many acting assignments in Bollywood for some reason.
Yeah.
But no, the thing is, it's not important that way. When a film has won 32 awards, including Venice and a lot of huge film festivals around the world, 3 Fiprescis or 4? We don't know. We've lost count. But when a film has been that appreciated and a film from India has won this much acclaim from people all over the world, I don't think it matters. I don't think the Oscars matter so much.
Right. And I think what tends to get forgotten, I mean, coming back to Vivek, is in his journey is that he's the lead actor in the film, and because he kind of tends to get called to receive awards, he's seen as the producer, but kind of people forget. So what's how's this journey been as an actor with the film after?
I don't have a job, man. Nothing has happened. I'm an actor primarily, and this journey as a producer only became out of necessity.
And it's a one-off thing? Are you looking at...
I'm broke right now, so right now it seems like a one-off thing. I don't know. A lot of people have been, I guess, encouraged and motivated with the journey of Court, and have shown a lot of faith in me, and people have written to me about asking to look at their projects and their things and so on and so forth. But
But as an actor?
As an actor, yeah, nothing much has happened. I don't even know. Yeah, nothing has happened, man. So I feel very disappointed and kind of saddened by it. But I mean, that's the nature of the business. And you know, you kind of just be like, oh, okay, there's another lesson learned. But
now, let's be honest. You don't want to. I mean, you also want to do certain kinds of roles.
yeah, of course you want to do certain kind of roles, but you want to talk, you want to meet people. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's yeah. It's been an interesting journey. Let's just put it that way. And
yeah, actually, I was just going to say that. Like that sentence would be complete from court to Masti Zade.
Yeah,
Would be like,
yeah.
Masti Zade.
Yeah,
Grand Masti
that would
3?
be-
Grand Masti 3 is already cast and it's already.
yeah, no, that would be exciting.
Grand Masti 4 के लिए try करें.
That would
Yeah, I
be
mean-
more range than most actors would have shown in
That
an
would be
entire
true.
career.
You don't need range in those kind of films.
No, but respect to all the films that are out there, and you know, and the producers and the directors who are trying to
Diplomacy
make
101.
stuff happen. And because one must understand the machine that one works in, and the animal, and the nature of the jungle, and all that crap. But yeah, no, it'll be nice. Look, I would love, I would love to audition. I would love to audition for content that would be really interesting and exciting.
So some of the filmmakers that you would like to work with.
Oh man, fuck that, man. Don't ask me that. No one. Whoever calls me, man, I'll go. I would like to audition. I would just like the freedom to be able to read the script and a decent, fair call for an audition where one is not disrespected. That would be good enough.
Also,
I'm
who
happy
the
with
heroine
that.
is, that's also very important.
No, no, just the text, man. Someone who can share the text and give me a chance to do that. And see, I'm very fortunate as well because this was my second gig with Chaitanya, and he's you know, it's quite something. Once you build a rapport with a director, then it becomes a very different ball game. And then because he has seen it and like I didn't look like the character at all or behave like it or anything, but he had faith in me. So I understand that sometimes it's also about building relationships within the industry and trying to be in that circle, and maybe that's a skill as well as an actor that you need to have, and I might be lacking that skill. But at the end of the day, I wish it would be a little bit easier than that, or at least, you know, at least we'd be able to get to a point where it wouldn't be disrespectful for either party, and you would get the chance to read the text and give them some assurity that what you're reading is what is going to be shot. Most of the times it's ideas by people or pitches or like this or like that, and you know, that's not something that excites me. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence. So when I walk into the room, I'm also not very confident about what this person is going to do because they've got X distributor or X producer or Y producer or a studio, and then as soon as the word studio comes in, you already know that the game is going to be so tipsy-turvy that they might be looking for a face or a body you know, which looks a certain way rather than anything else, and that's not really that much fun. Like, I don't want to hang out in a gym and do just that, although I do work out quite a bit. I try to, but yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, man, it's bizarre. It's hard to answer that question as an actor. I'm very excited though because I know a lot of my actor friends are going into writing and writing new stuff. I wish I could write, and I know a lot of web series and those kind of avenues are opening up. So I'm hoping something like that comes up, and I would also always would like to go back to theatre, and I haven't done a play in about since 2014 in a year or so, or 2 years now because 16, but I'm looking forward to something like that, and I want to maybe direct a play. That's something that's been on my to-do list for about 5 years now, and because of court it got all pushed back. But again, I'm looking for text, and I want original text. I want to do adaptations and things like that, so that's another challenge. Whether it's in theatre or in film, I would like, you know, something new and something current and something that talks about what's the state of the country right now or the state of the world. I think those things excite me a lot more, and especially if a director or a writer can think of, especially, well, not a writer, but writer will write, but the director and the producer can think about the process, about trying to make a text into reality and how much time it takes, and to allow prep and to have proper pre-production, just like these basic structures. You know, whoever can provide me something like that, and if they're interested in me, that's who I would like to work with as a director or a producer. But I'm the actor, they're the director and producer. You know,
That sounds a bit challenging.
yeah,
But,
but it'll happen.
I hope
it has to
happens,
happen.
and-
How can it not happen? Otherwise, we're quite fucked, man.
Yeah.
We can't just keep like looping the same crap every fucking time.
We've been doing that successfully, unsuccessfully for some time now.
No,
I hope that changes.
Aren't there like crores and clubs and all those words out there? So
We hope that changes, and we hope we get like
It
some
should change
amazing.
because films are failing more often than they're succeeding nowadays.
We hope it does. Yeah. And we hope we get to see you in some amazing work.
and I hope Jamuura makes some money eventually, and I hope
We are
you guys
making a
do.
lot of money. We are making a lot of
money.
And
You should invest. Yeah. No, it's not a low blow. Hey, it's great, man. Thank you for being
We're going to
patient.
edit that out. We're going to edit that out. So look forward to seeing you in more work.
Thank you.
Suprateek, lovely meeting you here, and look forward to meeting you again. Thanks so much. Bye.